I am a captain, have fought for humanity for centuries, but had never wanted this, had never sought it. With the Tyranids, they killed so many of us on Baal. The flower of the chapters, the vast majority of their successors of the Legion of the Blood, were gone. Yes, we had new blood, new replacements, new Astartes, Primaris, but they were larger, different, from vast stasis crypts. They fought bravely, like sons of the angel. They were faster than us, stronger, so sure of themselves, so effective. At first, I thought they were here to replace us. Shattered as we were, but with the word of the chapter master, Dante, and the avenging son of the emperor, Rebut Gilliman himself to support them. They were blood angels now. But were they the blood angels now? And so it began, but had to be done swiftly. We integrated them, did so as fast as we could. But there was something that came out in the wash, in the observations, in the meetings, and the measuring. They were warriors born, well-equipped, hardened over the duration of a crusade. They were Marines. But they were missing something. They were not fighting at their potential, because they were walking Codex Astartes. They fought like Ultramarines. Not entirely, but far too much. So we taught them. But it was abundantly clear. They could not be given leadership positions in the highest tiers yet. One day, definitely, but not yet. They did not have the experience to command with the new tweaks to their doctrines. They were not yet adept at our way of war. So it was those of us that were left, those with the talent, if not the desire. We were promoted. There were so few of us left, you see, and I could not deny my duty any longer. So Rubio Messaro became a lieutenant, and swiftly after a captain. I was there when my predecessor was cut down by the most horrific of battles I had ever yet witnessed. And today, I am reminded of it more than any before. Because today is a very special day. As our battle barge slows to approach the station, I am aware that everything will now change again. For with them amongst us, I can do naught but try even harder. None can bear to fail in their presence. But why does my mind wander so? Because I explain to myself, I justify why I, a captain of the blood, am secretly in more than a tiny bit of awe. And I hope it does not show to the men. I was promoted quickly to lieutenant, then a field promotion to captain only a decade later in that fateful event. So I had not been of high station for long, and the chapter had been at constant war, constant crusade, constantly moving, pushing out into the Imperium Nihilus, reclaiming worlds in the name of the Emperor and the Regent. Our own chapter master, Dante, had been named the Regent of the entire northern half, the dark half of the Imperium. The pressure I can only imagine. We all now feel it slightly more, though, but not like Norman men might. Not to the point where we can be paralyzed or become ill or inadequate. To the point where we all are more aware. No, we set a higher standard. We were the chapter, the Marines, the heralds and representatives of the Regent himself. We were his angels of death. We had to lead the way. Not just to our successors, not just to the greater, wider brethren of all of the chapters in the northern half of the Imperium. To every guardsman, every tank column, every naval formation, every planet, every man, woman and child under our aegis, our protection. We were now a symbol in the north, whereas the Ultramarines and others were the symbol in the southern greater Imperium. And we had to win. Always. Now more than ever. And it could be hard. But we were Astartes. All of us. Old and new. We stepped up. But due to my brevity of tenure, the inevitable had never happened until this day. Until this new briefing, this new quest. For it cannot be named anything other than that. And I am nervous, if that word could actually be attributed to any of my kind. It is what I would call it anyway. But I am also filled with quiet joy. For what we have been tasked to do will require the best out of every one of my men, and me, and their mere presence will bring it in abundance. For on that base is a full squad of them, the legends, the heroes of our chapter, the Sanguinary Guard. Each one a fabled warrior, the very cream of not only the chapter, but of its most illustrious, most skilled, most powerful veterans. In them the blood runs so pure, the resonance of the angel's soul reflects so brightly. I've only witnessed them in battle but once, the reason for all of my explanation of my unwanted yet meteoric promotion. I had never had them attached to my units before, let alone attached to me. But now we were approaching, but never planning to stop. The Storm Raven and its escorting storm talents were the only things in the void between us and the station. Replacement for losses we had sustained on campaign, prioritized to us due to the import of our mission. But it was the Storm Raven we all watched, even I. All my brethren bar the lieutenants and I had their helms on. They could mask their awe. We could not. Discipline. The Raven lands, they walk down out of it. Each moving so smoothly, they seem more to glide than walk. Yet it is not ephemeral or feminine. It is more like a hovering forwards, not like ghosts, but like that which they are. Beautiful but powerful warrior angels. Their golden armor shines, and their masks, those metal death masks that burn with the light of the Emperor, the light of the angel. They are resplendent. Everything we feel we should all aspire to be. But they are also the most deadly of all of us. The most powerful Astartes the Emperor commands outside of the Grey Knights, some say. And today, I believe it. I believe. They are here to guard me, to protect me, as captain, both physically, morally, and with the priesthood, spiritually. Their example alone, their presence amongst the men, the army, the company, it will show all of the brethren that we are in the right, that we are righteous. For how could such as they fight for anything other than the most pure of causes, the most noble of quests and goals? And everywhere we go, the men and women of the Imperium, from the meanest hiver to the most exalted planetary governor, will know that they are blessed, for the truest sons of the angel are with them. They stand forward and take their oaths to defend me for the duration of this campaign, and all cheer when it is done. They cheer, something I have not heard in many a long month and year. Already, their glory, their presence, begins to shine through us all. With them with us, with me, we cannot fail. We cannot. For we go to a crux point in the schemes of time, I am told. One of the great battles that defines the future, the path of the galaxy itself. Not forever, of course, but for a time. A crux point at which the blood angels must be present, or all is lost. Corbulo himself has foreseen it. And now, for the first time since I received these orders, now I feel we may just win. Because the chapter ancient of the Sanguinary Guard has in his hands, towering over all of us, filling us all with even greater pride, he has a sign. He carries a banner from the Arks, sent by the Regent himself. We will go to war under the banner of the chapter of the Blood Angels entire. We will not lose. To be continued. And don't worry, we shall see them in action stories soon enough. Welcome, gentle listener. I am Voldemort, your faithful servant, and I wish to introduce you to the forces, factions, and important units of the Warhammer 40k universe, the grim darkness of the far future, where there is no time for peace, there is only time for war. And today, as we come closer to the Sanguinary, I thought it only appropriate that we cover one of the most loved units in the entire setting, the Sanguinary Guard. They are adored by many fans who are not even Blood Angel players or enthusiasts unto themselves. So glorious are they. Counted as some of the most romantically dramatic and visually dazzling of all of the units in the game, their models are sumptuous and their lore sublime. And so, as usual, for the very basics, let us lean on existing wisdom. To quote, the Sanguinary Guard, exemplars of the host. Though the Blood Angels and their successors are haunted by the death of Sanguinius, they nonetheless embody the great virtues of their angelic Primarch, and they seek to emulate his example wherever and whenever they can. Some brothers achieve this to a greater standard than others. The Sanguinary Guard trace their heritage back to the Great Crusade, when they served as bodyguards to Sanguinius himself. Since that time, every Blood Angel's Successor chapter has had a formation of these warriors, as directed by Azkelon, the leader of their noble order at the time of the region's dissolution. As the Sanguinary Guard are ancient, so too is their war gear. They can trace the lineage of their golden armor and wrist-mounted Angelus boltguns to the time of the Horus heresy. It is no different for the mighty incarmine glaives they wield, which cannot be scratched, warped or broken, no matter how terrible the violence wrought by or against them. Made of angel steel, the secrets of the forging of these beautiful and deadly swords and axes are known only to the Blood Angels' artificers. A Sanguinary Guard's most iconic item of war gear is their death mask. The stern-faced visages of these golden war helms crackle with halos of light, giving the masks a terrifying aura that panics the foe and can even put them to flight. The machine spirit within each mask forms a bond of unbreakable loyalty with the wearer, and should the Sanguinary Guard fall in battle, his mask is placed in the sarcophagus of sorrows on Baal for 7 days and 7 nights, in which time the mask takes on the stylized features of its former wearer. Together, the Sanguinary Guard's war gear is a reminder of the chapter and the Imperium's great history. The deeds of each Sanguinary Guard are recorded with great assiduousness, and recited during the sacred rites, chapter celebrations, and on feast days. They speak of Uzarael, who swept Ansor III's skies of winged Drukhari warriors in a night and a day, and Vesta, who purged the leaders of the cult of the Bloody Eyes from Vladzig Prime with flame and axe. Accounts are read of Martanio, who slew the bodyguard of the Necron overlord Anok the Gilded, before beheading the megalomaniacal Xenos leader, and countless more tales of glory that ensure that every brother who ascends to the ranks of the Sanguinary Guard knows he is joining a valorous brotherhood with a most glorious legacy. The Sanguinary Ancient. Chosen before the commencement of each conflict by a council of peers, one amongst the Sanguinary Guard may be given the honour of bearing their chapter standard into battle. It is only during times of greatest need that such a banner is released from the Arx Angelicum, for these magnificently crafted relics are links to the chapter's oldest days, and some were born to war during the Great Crusade itself. Yet the vision of a golden angel soaring into battle with the storied banner of the Blood Angels held high can inspire fervour beyond words in the warriors of the Imperium, and transform even the direst rout into glorious victory against the odds. End quote. Quotations taken from Blood Angels Codex Supplement 9th edition, an ancient quote from 8th edition Codex. The Sanguinary Guard epitomize everything to the noble angel their Primarch Sanguinius brought to his sons on his discovery by the Great Crusade. Where the Death Company are its dark curse, its rage, and the epitome of what they were before he came. Aggressive, bloody, called the Eaters of the Dead. The Sanguinary Guard are his purifying light. For the great angel and all of his blood are a complex mixture of heaven and hell, angel and demon. And in this bard's opinion, his was one of the most mighty and most important of all places and reasons for existing. The most symbolic, and by far the most potent, the most pregnant with meaning, with hope. But I shall perform an entry closer to the time to explore these themes. The importance of Sanguinius, how terrible the loss of this son, and what his sacrifice meant to the Emperor, history, and humanity. And why it is one of the few almost universal celebrations across the entire Imperium. As to the Guard themselves, not just what they stand for. They are said to be so profoundly gifted, so intensely steeled, so sublimely skilled, that they are to the ordinary Astartes, as the Astartes is to the humble guardsman. For it is true that the Sons of Sanguinius are inarguably some of the mightiest of all Astartes, as their father was unto his brothers. Not all by any stretch of the imagination, but those that do exemplify his gifts are truly some of the best the Emperor commands, the best warriors that humanity has ever seen since the time our ancestors took up the first tools. They are graceful and elegant, yet without hesitation. They are the wing dipped not in blood, as are the Death Company, but in light. They dazzle their enemy and daze them, but not only by the spectral aura that beams from them, but with their very craft, their skill. Their mere presence raises all around them up, and gains from them the very best, the bravery inherent in all of our kind, in all of humanity. Their history we shall get into in more detail in another entry, when we deal with the secret of the blood angels, the being that protects them, guides them, and raises them up when even these stalwart exemplars of humanity are in danger of failing. For very soon we shall discuss not only the Sanguinara, but also the Sanguinor, and I hope you will join me then. And my last parting point, they, the Sanguinary Guard, are one of the most likely reasons for the popularity of the Blood Angels figures line, as compelling a reason to collect them, if not more than just their sumptuous lore. The figures for this legion, this chapter, this army are so good, just gorgeous, glorious, and utterly lethal. And in the Sanguinary Guard, you can see some of the very greatest art that is available in figure form from the Games Workshop. I have been Voldemort, your faithful servant. I hope you have enjoyed this brief introduction to the Sanguinary Guard. If so, then please do consider liking and subscribing. If you do, then hit the notifications button, as I would not want you to miss out. Now, no matter what you do today, do try to make some time for fun. Toodaloo.